Hey everybody, so this is the Echo PB200 blower that I was going to work on, and it needs a new fuel lines and a tune-up. So I will be doing a repair video on this today. So let me just take the one tube off here, so that it's not as long. I can work on it. Let me set this down here. Let's see, can you see that? Yes. There. Alright, so I'm going to take the tube off here so that it doesn't tip off the end here, off the bucket here. And I'll set this up here, and we will be doing, sorry about the, oops. So we'll be doing a tune-up on this. Alright, so I will be doing a tune-up and replacing the fuel lines on this. So I'm going to do the fuel lines first on it. So to replace the fuel lines, you want to remove the carburetor, and you want to take the air filter off first. This is probably the original air filter, so it's pretty dirty. So I'm going to go ahead and replace that. So I'll just set that back here. And now you want to remove the two screws holding the carburetor on. And I need to put in there. You can use a Phillips head screwdriver or a flathead screwdriver. I'm just going to use a Phillips head because that's what or a flathead. That's what I have out. So I will remove these two screws here, and it's holding this little plate on and the carburetor. And you can see that. Sorry about the mower noise in the background, our neighbor is mowing. So now the carburetor is starting to get loose, which is good. That means it's coming off. So I'll just set that down there, and I'm going to go grab a magnetic tray for the screws. So I will be right back. Okay, so I have my magnetic tray for the screws, and I also grabbed the wire, the hook wire for grabbing the fuel line, or for the fuel filter. Yeah. So I got my magnetic tray here. So I'll just remove the two screws holding the carburetor on. They're going to be really long when you remove them because they're going through the carburetor and into the intake boot. So yeah. Let me grab a rag real quick. Okay, so I got a rag so I can wipe my hands off because this is kind of greasy. So that's going to fall down like that because you removed one of the screws. And then I'll get this other screw out. This has a Zama carburetor on it, in case you're wondering. So I'll just get these screws out of here. And I'm replacing the fuel line on it today because when you poke it with a pencil or something, fuel kind of spurts out a little bit. So that's not good because that's a safety hazard. So I'll just set the air box. That's this part. It has the choke lever on it, and that's the part that goes and covers the hole. So I will wipe my fingers off here on the paper towel and set those screws down there. Now I'm going to remove the throttle linkage off the carburetor, and that's it. Right there, right by that white thing. There. And this white thing is the fuel tank vent. So, I'm going to go ahead and replace the primer bulb on it while I'm at it, because I have the part. So, I'm going to go ahead and remove the pressure in the fuel tank. Just let it come out through the fuel cap. And I am going to close the fuel cap up again so it doesn't spill. And now I'm going to remove the fuel lines off here, and they're going to be kind of hard. If they're kind of hard, you can just kind of, since you're replacing them, you can just kind of put a little slit in the fuel line, and it's so that you can remove it easier. And this is what the fuel line kit looks like from Echo. And then here's the maintenance kit. I'll show you how to put that in too. So I will get the fuel lines cut off with my utility knife. And I'll do both of them. There's a primer line and a fuel line, actual fuel line for the fuel filter, where it actually takes in the fuel. So I'll get that one off. Next, the primer line. And this one just pulled right out of the grommet, which is fine. Makes it easier to take off, so I'll just set that down there. And the grommet just popped right out of the fuel tank here. So, here's the carburetor, by the way. And the primer line goes right there. And this one is for the actual black fuel line where the fuel filter is at the end. So I'll just pull the fuel filter out and set that down here on the ground for now. And I'm going to wipe off my fingers. And I'm going to go grab a paper towel to set the fuel lines on, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I grabbed a paper towel to set the fuel lines on. So I got this all cleaned up. I'm going to go ahead and use this paper towel and kind of clean out the dirt that's around the hole in the fuel tank where the fuel thing goes through, or where the grommet goes into. So I'll set that down there. And here's the new one. There's going to be 3 lines coming out of the grommet, which I'll show you in a second. I have to open it. And then there's going to be the primer bulb at the bottom, which I'll also replace while I'm at it. Because I have it open, I might as well do it while I have the carburetor off. So this is what the part looks like. It's got 3 fuel lines. This is the one that's connected to the fuel filter. This is the primer line, and here's the fuel tank vent. So now first I'll stick the fuel filter into the fuel tank, and then I'll jam this in the hole, and it kind of helps if you spray a little bit of WD-40 on it. So it kind of gets a little lubricated, so that it goes on in easier. So I just sprayed a little WD-40. You can use silicone spray or something also. And this is the hardest part. So I'll do it off camera, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Hey everybody, I'm back. I just finished up the repair off camera because it was kind of hard to do. I had to pull out the fuel line a bit more than it was so they would fit. And then this just hangs right there. That's the vent. So I'll just do a startup video of it. There. Alright, and it's already warmed up, so I don't need to do the choke. it's running a bit higher at idle because I adjusted this screw right here. It's the idle adjustment screw so that it runs higher. You turn it to the right to make it run high, to idle higher, or you turn it to the left to idle lower. And so yeah, it works really well now. It doesn't leak fuel like it used to, and it's got a new fuel filter and a new primer bulb. So yeah, thanks for watching the video and have a good day.